Alright everyone, Nate and Beth coming at you to review Friday the 13th series, Season 1, Episode 10, Tales of the Undead. And I think we were both completely wrong.
Yeah, we
We
thought it
thought
was a
it was
zombie
going to be a
thing.
zombie episode. And what episode was it, Beth?
Well, we were completely not even close to the ballpark. This happens to be a comic book episode where the name of the comic is Tales of the Undead. And what happens? I know you
Sure,
want to say it. I know you want to say it.
No, I was being lazy and let you say it, but I'll say it. Really pretty cool. This is, I'm not a big comic enthusiast myself, but this episode would probably be appreciated by comic book enthusiasts. Basically, there's this comic book written in 1947 by this guy who's now 47 or 40 years older, because when this episode was aired it was 87. So this guy who we've seen in millions of movies and stuff before, I don't know his name, but he guest stars and he's a familiar face and plays this guy. But this episode revolves around, it starts with some comic book shop, and this one kid is like getting comics, and he sees that in this case there's this first edition or whatever of this
Tales from the Undead, signed by,
well, the artist, ain't it?
yeah, the artist J. Star.
And the kid's like, oh man, I want that comic. And
He's like pulsated by it, like drawn to it.
so he tries to break out, and he does break it out.
Well, it's in a locked case. He's trying to jimmy the lock, and then
He breaks it out, and
I gotta have it. Crashes it.
then once he grabs it, I think it's like when he has it in his hand or something.
Yeah.
No, it proceeds to do a really cool thing, and we thought we thought the animated petals on that cup were cool.
Teacup were cool.
But it's, it still is, but this is really cool in a different vein. It's like, so he grabs the comic book, they do like a freeze frame on the kid, and it fades, dissolves to like a drawing of him. Then it goes like, they probably didn't have the budget to do animation, otherwise they probably would have done that. Well, this makes more sense though, because it's a comic.
It goes from comic
So it
scene
goes
to
from
comic scene.
One's, whatever you call it in comic fandom, one slide to the next to what happens, and down to the next as each moment passes.
So the first drawing is the kid grabbing the comic book, and it's like a freeze frame, and then isn't the next freeze frame he's like, I don't know, turning into something, but we don't know what.
Yeah, that happens 4 or 5 or 6 times, and I don't remember all the drawings for every single thing, but it shows the progression of him turning into this robot kind of monster on the cover, and then once the comic book does that, then it fades back into real life. And now he's this hulking robo monster thing, and
the undead,
invincible
character.
The thing had some name. We can't remember all this stuff, but the robot had some name. Was it Ferris? Because I was thinking of Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, Ferris is the name of the comic.
I think it's Ferris something though.
Ferris the Indestructible.
Excuse us for not remembering every aspect of it, but they kind of do that when the robot's on screen. They more oftentimes than not have this slow motion to kind of give them this hulking thing, and I think
made out of steel.
Right, I think this guy, the robot or whatever, kills the shop owner or whatever, the guy with the big gut hanging out. And
so the first kill is the shop owner from this kid who doesn't even realize what he's doing. He just had to have the comic. It's like a drug.
And obviously this comic would have been one of the items. I mean, obviously, that kind of goes without saying. We don't even need to say it. But one of the haunted items or cursed items from
Curious Goods
that got its way out into the world and whatever. But would you like to take over?
I don't even know where we are.
Well, so the guy gets killed, and the robot walks out.
Oh yeah, the robot walks out. So this happens whenever. Well, then
I will say that the time between this.
It's hard to say what's next.
Yeah, I know. The time between this and maybe the next 5 or 10 minutes are kind of not that interesting. It's kind of like, the necessary expository stuff.
They see that this comic owner is killed, and they're like, oh, what's this got to do with anything? Well, no, actually, John D. LeMay's character Ryan actually witnesses
Oh,
the
that's
tail
right.
end of the artist of the comic book first kill of the shop owner being killed by it. He just doesn't even know what really happens. It's just, what's he going to tell the police? That a Ferris the Indestructible killed the shop owner by becoming a character in this comic? I mean, he'd be put into the loony bin. So he goes to the artist Jay Stark's house, whom they happen to find in...
Is it Star?
Jay Star. Stark is something else. Oh, Stark is Iron Man.
Oh.
So they go to the artist's house, and Ryan's telling Jay Star that, oh, your comic person came to life, and the artist like laughs in his face like, ha 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 ha, whatever, how is that? It's a comic book. I mean, I've seen some pretty fucked up shit, but
He didn't
a
say
comic book coming to... He didn't say that. They don't lie. They don't
Swear.
swear. They don't swear on TV, but but as soon as Ryan leaves, Jay Star finds out, goes to the comic shop and finds out who the kid was.
That kid had entered a drawing for a year of free comics.
Yeah,
so
and
I guess the kid,
all he wanted was
the
Undead.
comic he wanted, he put on that thing, so he was able to pinpoint.
Yeah, that's all he wanted was that comic.
But
so.
to be fair, you think other people would have put that comic on the thing too, like, I want that.
Maybe he was like drawn to it. Maybe it was a psychic connection.
Okay.
So then the artist
takes his little art award trophy to this kid, and
well, we don't know what it is first. He goes to the kid's house.
oh, we don't. Yeah, we already know what it is.
Oh yeah,
because John was
he does
there.
grab it, but we don't know that's the weapon until well, okay, we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit. So the artist of the Undead goes to this punk kid's house that accidentally kills the shop owner by becoming the invincible character, and the kid's like, oh, you can't touch me. He turns into, again, the animation flips through to him becoming the indestructible comic character.
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris the Indestructible. And to the child's dismay, the award is the weapon that can kill him. So that's how we kind of find out how he's destructible. He's not indestructible. That's his like kryptonite, I guess.
So the artist kills him with the award that the artist won making the comic.
Right. But that only became the weapon because that was drawn into the end of Ferris, the final comic, but it was never published because they didn't want it. This is the awesome character who wants to kill it off. They're making mint off of it.
Yeah, there's also some backstory we don't really need to cover about, the artist claiming this outfit, the publisher stole it from him, and the publisher saying, no, that's not true. Yeah,
sold it fair and square.
Yeah.
Some kind of deal went south.
But it does a pretty good job at keeping interesting, and then it turns out is the woman that's living with them, kind of like the maid or, housekeeper or whatever, ended up selling this unpublished, final thing, and
for a mint of money. I never kept a penny of it. Okay.
Yeah, we believe
why
that.
Are you fat? No.
Ooh.
She was heavy set.
So what's the count on this? It's like a record so far. One of them's off camera.
One off camera.
Kill count.
Kill count is technically 6.
No, is that including the...
That's including the end. So even the off-camera one.
The artist dies.
So we see 5 kills.
That woman gets splattered.
Which includes the artist being killed.
The woman gets splattered up against the wall, and the blood goes...
Oh, I can't believe they actually showed that on air.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the old guy finds out that the maid is, like, selling his artwork from underneath him, because he can't go down to the basement. He's, 85, 90 years old.
How but he somehow went down there to find that out.
Well, he'd already become Ferris, so he probably had some residue of that strength in him.
Okay.
then he turns into Ferris in front of her again. Pretty awesome, page by page, like a comic book.
Yeah, there's like at least 4 or 5
transitions
that are really fun. There's some funny towards the end. There's some funny drawings of like
Oh,
the
Ryan
and Mickey
and Mickey. Yeah,
some Ryan shots that Beth wasn't too. I think one,
they weren't very flattering, that's for sure.
but they had some artists try to do some comic pages or not pages, whatever they called.
This is a definite episode for any comic book fan. It's just amazing, and we were totally thrown off by the title.
Yeah,
We're thinking it's zombies, and it's a comic book called Tales from the Undead, which is pretty good. I mean, I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs myself. How about you?
Okay, I'll give it a thumb.
1 or 2? You have 2.
But I just been doing 1 for everything, and my variation of how the thumb is what determines.
Yeah, but I think this one deserves more than.
Great. Now we have 2 different thumb versions. Okay. Well,
All right.
my
Definite thumbs up from Beth.
My thumb being up means it's all the way up versus crooked,
Or
slanted or sideways. Or I don't think I've ever gone down. I think the worst
No,
was sideways for a
sideways.
couple of them. But
Yeah.
I just do 1 thumb. It just keeps it easier.
Yeah. Okay. 1 thumb.
You don't have to.
We'll just keep it simple. I don't want to change the ratings, but if I could give 2 thumbs, I would. But I will give 1 thumbs up on this episode. I think it was amazing.
Did I say 1 thumb?
You did say 1 thumb. Is that what you meant?
1 thumb, that's what I meant.
So between the 2 of us, it's 2 thumbs up. Just a fun episode. It kind of threw me for a loop. Just watching the animation and...
Not animation, but drawings.
The drawing.
Yeah, every time that happened, that was fun.
That was really fun.
Admittedly, towards the end, they kind of got lazy with doing like less frames, which is understandable. But
the 1 frame was the old guy, half Ferris, half the old man. That was a pretty cool shot.
Transition.
Yeah, that was right before he killed the maid, wasn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
I think so. Oh, but that splatter against the wall. Oh my God, that looked like it hurt. Can't believe they showed that on TV.
I know, that's what you said. Well, we're about at 13 minutes in, so we'll say sayonara for now until next time. Ooh, goody, Scarecrow. So my guess for Scarecrow would be the next episode. What are you laughing, smiling about? Well, hopefully a scarecrow in the field. What do you think?
I'm gonna follow through with that one. A haunted scarecrow or Scarecrow's hat.
Ooh.
That's my final thought. Until next time.
Yeah, I guess the more I think about it, Scarecrow in the field would be a big item to sell in the place.
It could be a picture.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Until next time, kids.
Thanks for watching, listening.